G'day everyone, Sean here again. Welcome to week 2 of my tools and techniques for living and having a strong foundation of your 4 pillars of health. Those 4 pillars are physical health, emotional health, mental health, and spiritual health, and being able to roar. So recognize, overcome, align, and reclaim your life. What I want to talk about today, the technique I want to talk about today, is something that's pretty new to me, to be honest, but has been incredibly powerful in allowing me to regulate my emotions, allowing me to express myself, and really help with that emotional and spiritual health that is really important, that often, particularly as men, we sort of skip over. That is the idea of journaling and the power of writing. Okay, most people have heard what journaling is. There is a myriad of ways we can journal. So the best way to go through this, I'm just going to go through what journaling is, why it's such a powerful tool to write, different types of journaling you can do and ways it can help you, and then how we can actually start journaling. So journaling simply for me is just writing. It is actively just writing down all the stuff that is coming through to you in your head, the things you're struggling with, the emotions you're feeling, your goals, what you've achieved during the day, what you're grateful for, etc. The power of writing that makes it, or the thing with writing that makes it so powerful compared to, say, like this speaking or just thinking about it, is you actively physically do something to move what's in your head and what's in your heart out. By writing, you're actually moving that out onto a physical piece of paper that you can read back. And as I said, journaling and this sort of stuff has been on and off for me for a while, but really I've been serious about it for a few months now, and it is such an incredibly powerful tool to help you release those frustrations and those emotions you might be feeling. Particularly for me as a guy, I sometimes get really pent up with things and find it hard to express. And the beautiful thing about journaling is that you're just writing and no one has to see it. If you want to share it, that's awesome too. But if you don't, it just is a way to express in a cool, calm, controlled way that's not going to cause an argument, that's not going to cause any frustrations to come out inappropriately with people, but allow you to release that. So with that in mind, let's go into the types of journaling that are available and that I find really quite helpful. The first one is a technique that has honestly just changed everything for me. So this first one is called conscious writing, and it can be about how you want to work out what your goals might be, or what your mission might be in life, what your purpose is, what your why is. That can come under this conscious writing. Conscious writing is also a great way to really tap into what you're actually feeling emotionally deep down. Not on the surface, there might be some anger, there might be some frustration, but what's actually causing that, what you're deeply feeling. So is the anger coming from shame or embarrassment because of an event, or is there pure joy because of something else, but you're not exactly sure why? So what conscious writing is literally grab a book just like this, just a little notepad, and you set a timer. I start with 20 minutes. Sometimes I do 5, sometimes I do 10. 20 minutes is really good. I like to put headphones in and listen to some really uplifting music on Spotify. If you just go into like positive manifestation music on Spotify or binaural beats or something like that, something that's going to give you positive energy, and just listen, and you just write. You don't think about what you're writing, you just write. Whatever comes through to you to physically write is coming through for a reason. And it's not about writing it perfectly, it's not about writing it to look like a novel or to read perfectly. It's just about getting things out. And when you do that and actively, consciously write, what will actually come through to you is your deeper truth, your essence of who you are. Your authenticity will come through because you're not trying to listen or appease an imposter in you that says, I'm not good enough, or I need to act or write a certain way. You are literally just being yourself. And this is a great way to really tap into your goals, really tap into what you want to achieve, whether it be 5 years down the track, whether it be 5 months down the track. It's a really good way to actually see what you want to achieve. So that's conscious writing. So it said set a time for 20 minutes and just write. And at the end, you can read it, go over it. But again, you're not worrying about what the outcome is, you're just worrying about getting it down and getting to that deeper truth. Another one that's really, really powerful, that sort of came up for me from conscious writing, is poetry. I was never a poet, never had didn't even read poetry at school or anything like that. But for some reason, when I do some journaling, I really feel like being called to poetry is that creative aspect. It's also a little bit of a challenge for me to try and make it rhyme, make it flow. And it's a great way to express. So poetry is another really good way. Again, doing it without judgment. You don't have to share it with anyone. If you feel compelled to share it, that's great too. Guided journaling is another really powerful one. If you just jump on to Amazon or to Google or to Instagram here or wherever and just type in guided journals, you can buy journals, particularly for men, that are really structured, really simple ways to get things out. They can be for goals, gratitude, things you're thankful for, what you want to do achieve today. Writing down a really inspirational quote to get your mindset. So things like that. So guided journaling is really powerful, particularly if you've never done journaling before. Any sort of writing, it can be a really good way to get into it without feeling overwhelmed or feeling like you need to write pages and pages. It's also really good if you're time poor. So if you've only got 5 or 10 minutes, you can quickly get up, do it, or if that's 5 or 10 minutes before bed, at the end of the day, to feel some gratitude. It's a really powerful tool. The next one is super powerful, and I've got this from a course I'm doing with Eric Godsey. It's called Go For Your Win. It's a really, really powerful tool. Letters to yourself. And it doesn't have to be yourself right now. It can be your child, your inner child. It can be your future self. It can be yourself from 3 weeks ago. It can be wherever. And just writing a letter like you would write a letter to someone else. Write it to yourself in a positive way, in a way that you are celebrating those victories you've had, or where you've come, or how far you've come from the start of, say, it might be a health challenge you're doing. You might be doing a challenge at the gym or something like that. It might be 4 weeks in. You're just giving yourself a bit of a letter, saying a bit of a prop up, and a congratulations. It might be how far you've come in your journaling activities. It might be how far you've gone in a spiritual practice, or how you've emotionally changed and grown and developed, things like that. It might just be a letter saying you can fucking do it. That as well is super powerful. Another really, really, really powerful tool, if you've got some frustration that's going on in your life, this is the one you want to do. Particularly with family members or friends or people you know, acquaintances, that are causing issues. It's a really personal one. So I have used this myself quite a lot. I've used this with my clients, and it's a really powerful tool. I didn't make it up, so I'm not claiming for it. A few other people have shown me how to do it, and it's a really, really cool tool. So what you do is you write all the things that are pissing you off about someone, and then you write 2 or 3 pages. Try and write as much as you can, as if you wanted to speak to them. So if this person makes you want to swear, write the swear words down. If you just want to say to this person, you're really pissing me off, write it down. Write down everything that comes to you that's really triggering you. And then from there, you can tear it up, burn it, whatever those things are to get rid of it. So you basically get rid of that anger and that frustration. You burn it, you get rid of it, you chuck it out. And then you have to go and write a gratitude appreciation list for that same person. But the appreciation list has to be longer. And it can be challenging, but it's a really, really powerful tool for you to actually tap into what you're thankful for in your relationships. And often you'll see the things that are triggering you in your relationships are often linked to something, and you can work on that something. But often we spend so much time focusing on the negative, like this person's pissing me off, you're triggering me, yada yada, the cycle goes on and on and on, that we always forget the things that we really appreciate for the person, or what the person brings to our relationship. So that is a really, really powerful tool. So aim for 2 or 3 pages of frustration and 5 to 6 pages of appreciation and gratitude. I guarantee you'll have a different point of view on the person. It's a really powerful tool. And finally, guys, how do you start journaling? Just do it. There's no magical formula. Just do it. For me, the easiest way that I started was to set a timer, as I said, with headphones in, even if it's only 5 minutes, and just write. Write 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you're thankful for, 2 things you did really well, and 1 thing you want to improve on. 3 things you're grateful for, 2 things you did really well, 1 thing you want to improve on. If you do that just before bed for 5 minutes, that's your start of your journaling practice. And then you just build from there. It's as simple as that. Writing is such a powerful tool to shift our emotional, spiritual, and mental health. It's also super powerful when it comes to your physical health too. How many people do you see at the gym actually physically writing down what their goals are, what their numbers are, so what they're lifting, what their weight is, etc., 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 what their food is. It takes it, makes it physical. I want to encourage you to write and journal. Have a great night, guys. See you next week.